This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
I'm genuinely unclear.
Well, let's get back to it.
This evening and tonight, bands of showers will move east across many areas overnight, heaviest in the west. Well, heaviest in the northwest, I bet. Checking while you wait. Aha. Wow. Okay, here's your weather forecast for Glasgow. This evening raining, tomorrow raining, Sunday raining, Monday raining, Tuesday or not raining. Pfft, rubbish. You're actually going to get some sun on Tuesday. Some of you might actually dry out. Cloudy on Wednesday and then raining on Thursday, raining on Friday and raining on Saturday and raining on Sunday. Then raining on Monday and raining on Tuesday and raining on Wednesday and raining on Thursday and raining every day for the rest of your lives. Oh well, never mind. It's just weather. Nothing serious. Saturday, windy in the west with heavy, squally showers, whatever they are. The best sun in southern and eastern parts. Outlook for Tuesday for Sunday to Tuesday, or the other way around. Showers in the north, dry start elsewhere, then rain, locally heavy with strengthening winds. Later, Monday and Tuesday, mostly dry and sunny. Mostly. Would you like to hear the long-range weather forecast for the next 4 weeks?
No.
Okay, next 2 weeks up till the end of this month. Oh my God, it's almost November. It's practically Jesus' birthday. Okay, next couple of weeks. Rain spreading northeastwards throughout the country. Mist or fog possible. And that's going to be here, there and everywhere, baby. Mist or fog, here, there and everywhere. Then, cloud and rain, sunny spells, showery periods, colder or warmer. They've got no idea. And then the beginning 2 weeks of November, this is the first half of November, more settled weather bringing dry conditions. Daytime temperatures will generally be around normal for the time of year. More settled weather bringing drier conditions and daytime temperatures will be generally more normal for the time of year. We'll take it. So yesterday, Crazy Kwarteng insisted that he is not going anywhere, even as Number 10 prepared to reverse a tax cut at the heart of his mini-budget. Well, it wasn't really his mini-budget. It was, what's-her-name's mini-budget? You know, the You've Never Had It So Good lady.
We have never had it so good.
In an interview with the Super Soaraway Daily Telegraph, the ex-chancellor admitted that he had faced a baptism of fire in the job but vowed to fight on, saying, "I really enjoy the Treasury, which makes today's news all the sadder." Crazy Kwarteng was told to cut short a trip to Washington for crisis talks over the government's special monetary operation. And various nodding dogs were released from the Tory kennels to go on television to tell us that this is perfectly normal, nothing to see here. A Treasury spokesmodel said, after completing a successful series of meetings at the International Monetary Fund, the Chancellor is returning to London today to continue work at pace on the medium-term fiscal plan. No. And those words had barely dropped from their lips when the Lizbot announced that she had fired him. She fired him for doing exactly what she had told him to do. It's his own fault. How could he have been so silly? It's reported that there's widespread despondency on the... It's reported that there is widespread... Please try not to laugh during the reading of this report. There is widespread despondency on the Tory backbenches about the vast polling lead enjoyed by Labour and the market fallout from the tax-cutting mini-budget. They're despondent. Hey, Tories.
Stop whining.
They're furious, too. Calm down. Liz Truss executed another U-turn on her flagship tax cuts today after saying that she had been very clear that she had taken decisive and robust action and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Blunder Truss fronted a make-or-break press conference. Well, if those are the two options, then it's break. Blunder Truss fronted a make-or-break press conference to tell us that we should ignore all of the clear and decisive and robust policies that she previously said were the right thing to do. Now she's going to abandon plans to keep corporation tax at 19p rather than setting it up to 25p in April, which means that she is now part of the anti-growth coalition. No! If everybody that was against her previous plans are part of the anti-growth coalition, then ditching all of those plans makes her the titular head of the anti-growth coalition. She said she had made a difficult decision for the economic security and in the national interest, which implies that her previous decision to cut corporation tax would not deliver economic security and was not in the national interest. Does Liz Truss actually agree with anything that Liz Truss has said?
No.
She said, "We will get through this storm." She didn't. She said, "We will get through this storm." She said, "Some of your boats will be on the seabed when the storm passes, but that is a price that I am prepared to pay. Those ships are going down." She said, "The mission remains the same, but ultimately we have to make sure that we have economic stability." Well, I'm sorry, Miss Trust, but you can't keep your mission and have economic stability. Select. And almost before it had begun, the press conference was over. She scarpered. She said, "Right, that's it. I'm leaving.
Bye-bye."
And the reviews are in. One former cabinet minister said the PM had been a robotic.
Affirmative.
And made the situation far worse. The MP said, "What an absolute shambles. She's got to go." Another said, "The party is a laughingstock." Yeah, it's a joke, but it's not funny. Another said, "Truss has a lot of work to do." Oh, please, spare us the pain. I think her doing a lot of work is what got us into this mess in the first place. Hey, Liz, could you see your way to doing less work? Asked why she should remain as PM, she did that thing with her hands like she's holding a drinks tray. What is that? Who does that? Other than somebody who has been told to do that because it worked well in a focus group. If you start waving your arms around, like people on the telly do this all the time as well. It were grand when I were a lad. I used to remember that a documentary used to be an hour's worth of some serious person just talking into the camera. And the camera wouldn't wobble about like it was being filmed in a disco, and there wouldn't be pounding music in the background. And they weren't waving their arms around or cycling towards the camera or any of that stuff. They just told us information. And now that disease has got into politicians, and they just can't keep their arms still. They're waving their arms about like they're directing traffic. And somebody's told her to wave her arms about, but I don't know, maybe she needs some oil on her joints because her elbows don't move. If she's trying to look like a robot, she's doing an excellent job.
Affirmative.
I don't know what we've done to deserve this, but it must have been pretty bad. One former cabinet minister said the PM had been robotic. Yeah, well, tell us something we don't know. Asked why she should remain as PM, she said, that usual thing about being clear and determined and robust and doing the right thing, which is the right thing to do, and delivering and making decisions and acting decisively. And that's a new one, by the way, in this list of focus group approved catchphrases. Decisive. I have been decisive in doing the wrong thing. But it works really well. People think, oh, decisive. Gosh, that is impressive. I'm very impressed that she's decisive. No one is. It might work well in a focus group, but not in a real world. She said, I am absolutely determined to deliver a higher growth, more prosperous United Kingdom. So that's one, determined, if you're keeping track. If you're playing like Truss bingo. She said, we have already delivered the energy price guarantee, making sure people aren't facing huge bills this winter. So there's a delivered, if you're trying to keep up. She said, but it was right in the face of the issues that we had, that I acted decisively to ensure that we have economic stability. So that was a twofer. It was right and won decisively in the same sentence. Convincing, no?
No.
The Lizbot said, I am determined, there's another one, to deliver on what I set out when I campaigned to be party leader. And it was right, 3, in the national interest that I made decisions I've made today to restore that economic stability. She's restored economic stability. And the economy said, and the pound and the markets seesawed like a children's garden toy. And now we hear that some Conservative MPs have been touting Fishy Sunak and Penny Mordaunt as a dream ticket to overtake the Trust bot. Others want to see a comeback from Bodger Johnson because, the British people apparently haven't suffered enough. Eh, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
Blah, 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 blah. Chris Philp has also been ousted from the Treasury chief as a Treasury Chief Secretary because he has too few vowels in his surname. That's a fact. This was after a series of gaffes, including but not limited to tweeting that the pound was strengthening during Crazy Kwarteng's mini-budget special operation, that is minutes before the pound crashed. He's swapping jobs with Paymaster General Edward Argar. And what is the Paymaster General when he's at home, I hear you ask? Well, it's one of those non-jobs that Jacob Smug should have in his sights to axe for the good of the public purse. Like Minister for Identifying Brexit Opportunities, which was axed because the bloke responsible couldn't find any.
I don't know anything.
Kwarteng, Crazy Kwarteng, becomes the second shortest living Chancellor in modern politics. So short, in fact, that I'm irritated that I spent 10 minutes trying to learn how to spell his name. There's 10 minutes I won't get back. Thanks a lot, Crazy Kwarteng. The shortest serving Chancellor in modern British politics, the one that beat Crazy by a couple of days, was Ian MacLeod. Ian MacLeod's position was left untenable after just 30 days of him being in that job, due to him dying. Since 2019, we've had the luxury of 4 chancellors, including Nadeem Zahawi.
So obviously, but I know
that's Nadeem explaining something.
But
yes. Well, you've been very clear and decisive. Let us know when you get to the end of that sentence. Nadeem Zahawi served the third shortest tenure as Chancellor of the Exchequer, 62 days, and Sajid Javman Jav served 204 days, the fourth shortest tenure on record. So apart from the bloke who couldn't continue as Chancellor of the Exchequer because he was dead, the 3 shortest tenures of Chancellor of the Exchequer have been the last 3. How's that Tory reputation for fiscal prudence and financial competence going, by the way?
Oh, fabulous.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC. This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
Dan texts, if we get another Chancellor on the country's card, do we get a free coffee? Good one, Dan. A listener with material.
Oh, no.
I'll let that one go. Graham says, any chance you could tell a little white lie about how Liz Truss really does have a plan or something? I live in the super safe seat of failing grayling, and I'm struggling to cope with the sudden cacophony of pennies dropping and the wheels falling off all over the blooming place, says Graham. 0345 6060 973. Manchester. Hello, David.
Hello. All right, Nick.
Yes, David.
I'm all good. I was just thinking. That you should give Liz Truss when you mention her. You should give her the Predator sound.
What's that?
The movie, The Predator.
Yeah, The Predator. I can't remember what the sound is. Can you do it for us?
Oh, I can't remember it now.
Go on, David. You're getting all shy. Now, go on. The spotlight's on you, mate. Here we go.
Zoom.
Wow, that was terrible.
The weapon off the shoulder of the thing. What do you call it?
Right. It sounds like you're doing a lightsaber out of Star Wars. That's what that sounded like to me.
That's the one.
Right. Okay, I'll look it up, David. Thanks a lot for the swerve. 0345 6060 973. Off to an excellent start. This says, okay, Jeff emails, Nick Mate, that's M and then the figure 8. Lux, Lucks, like, Lyk. You and James O'Brien, spelt wrong, are getting your own way. Looks like theirs, EIRS, is going to be a general GENRIL election, but can't, with an R, see Diane Abbott, spelt wrong, doing any better. Jeff, you have to spell at least a couple of words correctly, otherwise it will seem like you're a listener with material. Better luck next time. Oh, God, there's more. He says, let's give Boris a chance. The economy was booming. I don't see why LIBOR should get in. They probably rejoin EU and run on the pound. Yeah. The British public have spoken. Another excellent reason not to listen to the British public. Are you still there, David?
Yeah, I'll put my phone down.
Okay, there you go. That usually works for me. Christy emails, your voice and pronunciation are mostly excellent, as in A-rated.
Affirmative.
Mostly, she says. However, I have noticed when you're podcasting with Carol, by the end of the allotted hour, you're talking less Southeast Englandish. I think she might have been a bad influence on you and your dulcet tones. You are talking less Southeast Englandish. You mean I'm talking more South, like that? Is that what you mean? Well, I get very relaxed after talking to Carol McGiffin for an hour. It's almost like going down a pub.
Booze.
We do a podcast, by the way, me and Carol McGiffin.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which the delightful Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while laughing like hyenas. We just taped the one that's coming out on Monday yesterday, and I'm going through it, bleeping out all her swear words.
Disgusting.
And it'll come out on Monday. If in future you would like us to have a bash at your issue, because one comes out every Monday, then send it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com, nickandcarol @global.com, and gird yourself for a certain amount of satisfaction. Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? We've done over 130 of those. 130 hours of top-class amusement that we just pulled out of our ears. Not our ears, our ears. There it is with the pronunciation again. You've got to get your pronunciation correct. And the emphasis, too. 0345 6060 973. Glasgow. Hello, Frankie.
How you doing, Nick?
Good, thanks.
Good to speak to you again, pal. Before you start, it's not raining because there's two weathers in Glasgow, as you well know. It rains or it's too cold where the rain freezes halfway when it comes under the clouds. So it's froze at the clouds. Right. You can actually see the raindrops just frozen above it. So it's like minus 50 in Glasgow. where the rest
I'm
the
very,
UK is
very
just enjoying a decent life.
Yeah, I'm very sad to hear that. Go ahead.
I can't know, mate. But technically, you're right. It will rain if it's us.
Yeah, it will rain eventually. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Where do you start for the day, Nick? I'm going to start with the press conference where the Drain Trust was sitting.
Didn't she do
She's
great?
standing there.
Yeah, she almost came across like a real human being.
But see what you said about this holding the tea trolley thing.
Yeah.
That's the tea tray. That's what she looks like. Why did she always put her hands out?
I don't know.
She's, what would you like? Red or white, whiskey or vodka. It's like a Glaswegian funeral, whiskey or vodka.
Yeah, just leave all of the bottles on the table and I'll get to them eventually.
These people are in charge, mate. It's mental.
Well, I don't know about you, Frankie, but they're not in charge of me. I am a free man.
Yes, well, that's very true, Nick. And with the mini budget, I mean, even when it started, Nick, we were in fits.
Yeah, the special financial operation. Yeah.
And she never seen that coming full circle. So they've really jumped the shark. You know what I mean? Surely the racist north of England must turn the red wall back to the red wall.
Hang on a minute. Whoa. The racist north of England. Is that what you said? So this is Glasgow. Glasgow now picking fights with the north of England.
Well, the north of England always voted for the Tories because they would send them all back. You know what I mean?
I know who my money's on. All right. Thanks a lot, Frankie. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. See you. Darryl says, so the Brains has sacked the Chancellor of the Exchequer for having the audacity to carry out her orders. But given that his replacement is still planning to present the next fun-sized budget on Halloween, isn't it inevitable that he will spook the markets again? What is going on in this country? This used to be a fairly well-ordered country, didn't it? Things used to tick along fairly well, and, not everybody got a fair slice of the pie, but then that's just life outside Norway, isn't it? Norwegian people, always so perfect. But, it was rubbing along like a fairly decent place. And then David Cameron came along with a bright idea.
I think this is nonsense.
It's all your fault, you idiot. And then who compounded his error.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
And now we're stuck with a trust bot.
That is a disgrace.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I agree with Liz Truss. It is a disgrace. No kind of way to run a country, is it? Not a well-established first world country. I mean, this is a country like a sort of a diffusion line, isn't it? This is like a knockoff country. I mean, it's got Britain on the label, but is it actually Britain inside? I don't think so. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I'm genuinely unclear.
Yes, I believe you. 0345 6060 973. Unclear. Claire. God, I think she's been hanging around with smoke too much.
I don't know anything.
I'm not upset, but it's when anybody dies, it's sad. But when somebody famous dies, it's sadder. But the thing that I loved from Robbie Coltrane was Tutti Frutti, which was it was absolutely ages ago now. I mean, people always say, Harry Potter, because everybody on earth has seen Harry Potter. But Tutti Frutti, I hope that they replay that again. It had Emma Thompson in it. It was about this Glaswegian band. Very, very good. Tutti Frutti. You have to say it like that, too. 0345 6060 973. Mark texts, the people do not realise how lucky they are. We are so lucky that we never voted for Ed Miliband's government of chaos in 2015. That's right. Fortunately, we swerved a coalition of chaos and have been luxuriating in a catastrophic clown show instead. Eastbourne, Warwick.
Hello, lovely to speak to you, Nick.
Warwick.
Great to speak to you again. I just wanted to say that I think this is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, we are in the death throes of the Conservative government. And whilst, the criticism to be made is absolutely that they've sort of brought upon their own death, and that Labour, Labour haven't, made that death possible.
Labour Party have just stood there watching it happen and benefiting from the results.
I mean, Keir Starmer's like that. Like the most that you can say against Keir Starmer right now is he's boring. Well, I don't want politics to be entertaining, right? If I want politics to be entertaining, I'll watch the thick of it, or watch Yes Minister.
Yeah.
Right, that's funny.
Or you just watch American politics.
Oh, shut up!
For instance.
Exactly. I don't need the fright of life to come from my politics.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I work for the NHS. Have done. Most of my working life. My dad's a postman, right?
Oh my God! It's a family of militant lefties.
Yeah, we're basically Marxists.
Yes.
We don't even think we should deal in the pound.
No, I've got an enemy of the people on the phone here, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
I am an enemy of the state, Nick. We should only deal in tokens. And by the way, I just got banned from one of the most left-leaning subreddits on Reddit for saying that perhaps we shouldn't pick apart Labour right now for not being perfect left. Actually, shall we just focus on winning the next election?
Yeah, I've had that argument many times on this very show, and people just won't listen.
Yeah, but Keir Starmer said this thing 2 years ago that he's now actually
He parts his hair on the right, which is a direct attack on the LGBTQ plus our comrades in the LGBT.
Well, all I would say is that Labour's needed their right wing to fly every single election.
Yeah.
The same being said of the Conservatives. They've always needed the left wing to fly. That is just politics. Politics is
Well, it sounds like
compromise.
You're describing flight.
Yeah, but it's compromise, is it? Surely, politics is finding a middle ground that is acceptable for both people, and when that doesn't work,
you're not really on board with the message, are you, comrade?
No, not at all.
Compromise? No, we'd rather sit and stew in miserable failure for the rest of our lives rather than compromise.
Apparently, Keir Starmer is worse than having four.
The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah, quite
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So, Nick, you're doing a great job.
Okay, thanks a lot, Warwick. I'll keep on keeping on. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. It's so painful. People are already writing off the Conservative Party the next general election. Assuming that we do actually get another general election, whether it won't be cancelled as part of a special political operation by Liz Truss or whoever is operating her. I would not be remotely surprised at this point if an emergency was called and all future elections were cancelled. Somebody will come around your area saying,
"Emergency, everybody to get from street. Emergency, everybody to get from street."
But if we are ever allowed to go out and vote again, then I forgot what was I talking about? I've completely forgotten what my train of thought was. Oh, well, never mind. It's just me being stupid. Keith tweets, Met police suing government for repetitive strain disorder due to opening and closing the Downing Street gates in the last year. Ash tweets, settle a debate with Jeremy Hunt in post as Chancellor. Is there now a grown-up in the room? Serious opinion, says Ash. Well, let me think about that. Dunno. I do know that broadcasters will be despondent at the thought that they're going to have to be saying Jeremy Hunt's name.
Warning, warning.
Be careful. Mike texts, have you been sacked for doing what your boss told you to do? You should consider joining a union, says Mike. 0345 6060 973. Oldbury, Ranjit.
Hiya, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Have you been frying tonight?
I have been frying and I've been laughing my taters off about what's been going on.
And what was the most popular dish up around your place today?
Today, fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
And doner kebab.
Doner kebabs?
Yeah.
You do fish and chips and doner kebabs?
And doner kebabs and chicken kebabs.
Right.
And pies.
Well, let me ask you this. What's in a saveloy?
Pork, chicken, and that's it. You like a pork sausage and a bit of chicken in there.
You don't know, do you?
Surrounded by... I do. Yeah, it's got chicken. It's got all the leftovers of chicken and pork. Yeah.
Leftovers?
You know, they're very tasty.
I'll never know. But anyway, carry on.
Okay, like I said, what was your opinion? When she courtesied the king, yeah.
Well, it looked like she was trying to enter the room without banging her head on the floor. Almost succeeded.
Yeah, and he went, dear, oh dear.
Back again. Dear, oh dear, never mind.
I think that was the start of a bad week, yeah. That was the start of a bad week.
Did you notice in that clip, though, that when they opened the doors, the footman or the doorman or the butlers or whatever you call them, they slammed the doors against the wall. That was pretty, because those doors must cost a bit, and so must the walls. So they should have some sort of rubber device to stop the door smashing into the wall.
Or a robotic door. I mean,
in fact, that would be a good use of Liz Truss. Just put her behind the door next to the wall so that the door doesn't smash into the wall.
Right, yeah. And, in the olden days, it would have been, off with her head, mate. Off with her head, it would have been, right, back in the 16th century. And the other one was, like when they keep on using three, word phrases, like get Brexit done and this, that, and the other. I think the new one she's going to have, right?
Oh, wait. Is this a listener with material?
No. I've just been thinking about this. And while I've been listening to your show, she's going to put a phrase in front of her. Clueless. Right.
So, like I said, listener with material.
You're going to let it go.
Well,
and the other one, Nick,
got no
was,
choice
when
now. It's gone.
When Robert Peston asked her the question, right?
No.
I thought she was going to burst out in tears because I was listening to your radio station and watching it on the TV, yeah? I thought, my God, she's going to start crying now.
Well, when Robert Peston starts out on a question, you check your watch, and 3 hours later, he's still getting through his first word. All the words really drawn out.
Yeah, but I thought she was going to start crying. And you know what? It's a bad time. I think, even her own side hates her now, right? There isn't anybody that she can give out sweeties to. I'm surprised Jeremy Hunt took her on the job. You know what? If I was Jeremy Hunt, and like you say, you've got to be very careful how you pronounce his surname.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If I was him, I would have just said, mate, listen, love, you're on your own, darling. I ain't coming with you, mate. You know what? You've just put the quasi-Quantang under the bus, yeah? This is for some reason, this is the most government, the most...
It's the most government that we've ever had. I think that is probably correct.
Affirmative.
It is the most government we've ever had. It's a little bit too much government. Thanks a lot, Liz Truss. You have delighted us enough. And you, Ranjit. 0345 6060 973. Ray text, you may recall Blunder Truss walking out to Moving On Up at the conference. Pretty vacant by the Sex Pistols might have been better.
Rock and roll!
She's so pretty, oh, so pretty. Arjun emails, just wondering which is the real Nick. The Nick on the Friday and Saturday shows, the Nick on the Sunday shows, or the Nick on the Carol McGiffin podcast. Love all, says Arjun. And Rose says, the government's behaviour is definitely the Friday and Saturday and the Carol. Rose says, the government's behaviour keeps reminding me, although I do enjoy the Sunday show, but if I had to actually make a choice, I'd rather be playing cow noises. But I do enjoy the Sunday show because it's different. It's it's a challenge for somebody as challenged as me. Rose texts, the government's behaviour keeps reminding me of dreams where I find myself on stage, having, for instance, to sing the role of Susanna in The Marriage of Figaro. I proceed to wing it. I can neither sing nor act asleep or awake. Well, Thanks for the detailed information, Rose. Can't sing, can't dance, can't act. What can you do? Subtle innuendo follows. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Shut up.
0345 6060 973. Ricky tweets, Hunt only got the job because he has a Casio solar-powered calculator. Wow, a solar-powered calculator. I've never heard of such a thing. That sounds marvellous. Of course, if it runs out of sun, then he could always ask Zaphod, who is excellent with numbers.
86%, 5 million, and of course, over 50%. And what I'm saying is...
Oh, too much. Chrissy says, to get to a general election, do you think the public should start a Jarrow March to end the chaos the Tories have brought the country? A Jarrow March? No. I think that would constitute a disturbance and will get you sent on the first plane to Rwanda. I saw a video. There's a video that the government's put out about Rwanda, and it looks absolutely fantastic. They put a video together to, appease the protesters that it's a cruel and unusual punishment to send some of the most desperate people in the world on the first plane to Rwanda. You know, the thing that Swella Braverman dreams of. just when you thought the post of Home Secretary couldn't get any worse, it did. It's her dream to send the most desperate people on earth to Rwanda. And so they produced a video in order to make it not seem so cruel. And, it looks great. I want to go there. If the government is giving out free plane rides to Rwanda, I'd like to take one, please. I'll pay for my own return if necessary. The problem with that, though, is by putting out a video that makes Rwanda look fantastic, they're going to make people want to come here all the more. I mean, they want to come here to a country that is damp and is raining all the time and it's grey, it's going to be dark for the next 5 months. Or they could go to a place that's warm and sunny and bright, where things are cheap and there are lots of jobs and the people will welcome them. Doesn't that sound fantastic? I think they have perhaps overplayed their hand. If you tell people that all they've got to do is get here and they'll be put on a plane to heaven, they're going to want to come here all the more. It's almost as though somebody in the Home Office is not that bright. 0345 6060 973. Lanarkshire, rather. Craig.
Oh, good evening, Nick.
Craig.
I mean, it's we live in the madhouse now, really, don't we?
We do, yeah.
I think kind of got to rub your eyes because it feels like we're all living in one big episode of Spitting Image, to be fair. Because I don't think they could have wrote humour as...
I think we're living in the upper class Twit of the Year contest from Monty Python.
Yeah, I think that would probably sum it up. No, I mean, I think it's extraordinary that how can Liz Truss, who sat with Kwasi Kwarteng, sometimes just the two of them, knocked up this mini budget, sack him for it being a disaster, but have the barefaced brazenness to stay in post herself. I mean, that's like me, phoning a plumber, asking him to fit a sink full of holes in it into my kitchen, and then sacking him because the sink was full of holes that I asked him to put in the first place.
Right. I knew that she was going to do that. It was so blindingly obvious she was going to do that from the very first time that she was quizzed about the mini financial event, when she said, in answer to why are you favouring tax cuts for the rich, she said something of the order of, that's what the Chancellor announced, as though saying, well, it's got nothing to do with me. The writing was on the wall. He should never have gotten that plane to New York.
But, I mean, I wonder. You wonder if his plane and Jeremy Hunt's kind of passed each other on the way.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think, I mean, look, you know, the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who's coming up next year. Maybe they'll just start my celebrations early. Maybe she just wants to see if she can catch up and have as many chancellors as there has been Doctors.
Doctor Who's.
Yeah, because I can't. I mean, this crop won't last any. Let's be fair. I think a general election is absolutely what is needed. I mean, we know why we're not getting one, and it's not because it's not in the best interest of the country. It's because it's not in the best interest of the Conservative Party. It's just, you know, that's.
Maybe she is actually aware that there is the anniversary coming up of Doctor Who, and she's just positioning herself for a role-on part as Doctor Who's chief nemesis.
That is a disgrace.
It sounds plausible to me, Craig, or at least as believable as anything else that's happened this year. All right, thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Maybe that's why she holds her arms like that. She actually does think that she's a Dalek. Chrissy texts. Oh, no, I read that. Tom says, if Liz Truss thinks that stabbing her friend in the back will save her, she's very badly mistaken. She's absolute toast. I don't know. Stabbing friends in the back seems to work for some people.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
James tweets, are we sure he's 3,000 miles away? I heard he's still living in Chequers. Well, he could quite possibly be, yeah. He's covered himself in wallpaper in hoping that he will blend in and nobody will notice he's there. No, I heard he was earning big money giving the speech that he does, where he shows up late, looking like he's slept in a skip, and then pretends he doesn't know where he is. That speech. Same blooming one over and over and over again. £150,000.
What?
Yeah. Rob says, keep an eye out for the new blockbuster movie, U-Turn, the movie, starring lackluster Liz Truss, and a host of villains pretending to know how to run a country with disaster at every turn. Comedy abounds and an ever-changing cast. A rip-roaring, laugh-a-minute ride, nominated for Global Comedy of the Year, says Rob. A little bit too long there, Rob. Editing, perhaps, might be a good idea. More pithily, Paul says, I think Jeremy Hunt may be eligible for a carer's allowance. Yeah, I think carers' allowances are cancelled for the benefit of the nation. I'm sorry, but we just can't afford that. Let's have Brighton. Hello, Ben.
Oh, hi, Nick. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Ben.
The thing I'd like to say, first of all, is that, all joking aside, is that I just feel as though they don't give a monkeys about us lot. I mean, they really don't care. I think because they can walk away from it, they regard me, my wife, yourself, every other sentient human being in this country as some sort of petri dish where they can do an experiment upon us. If it don't work out, it don't work out. Fine, they just walk away from it.
Right.
Because, like, I really valued freedom of movement, for instance. Like, back when we were still members of the EU.
Right.
Yeah?
When the world made sense. Yeah.
Yeah, when the world made sense. Yeah. And the thing that I've just realised, as I was looking it up, is that actually freedom of movement ceased for me, ceased for you, but it didn't cease for them. Freedom of movement exists completely for the rich. And
of course, they'll
people
be.
Like,
don't worry about them, Ben. They'll be just fine. They're millionaires.
They'll be just fine. Yeah. So, like I say, I mean, I love the show, and I've been listening to LBC all day long about this absolute monumental mess that's been going on.
But
I have to say that as funny as it is, there's also an element of kind of real tragedy to it. Because
that's right.
Who are we being led by now?
It would be funny if it wasn't happening to us.
Exactly, yeah. And I just think they're like a bunch of hooligans, sort of trashing the country, then just seeing how things work out.
I keep saying this. It's not a government. It's a smash and grab raid.
It is. And it makes me really upset, and it makes my mum and dad upset, and they're getting quite elderly now. And makes my brothers and sisters upset. And like I say, we grew up, when I grew up in South London, and I moved down to Brighton, only a few years ago. But growing up around there, I really thought kind of there was a point, sort of like in the 90s, where people could afford to live in London. They could afford to kind of get their own stuff, and homelessness seemed to be kind of. It was just after the Blair government sort of took over and stuff like that. And you started thinking to yourself, what kind of things are working out? And then they kind of, and things gradually were getting better. And I'm not saying they were perfect, but you know, you've always made the point, as have your colleagues, you know, never let the perfect be the enemy of the good. But things were kind of working out. And then you get this bunch of sort of Eton educated, they are hooligans, they're absolute hooligans. And they come in, they trash the lot, and we're all supposed to say, well, you know what? That's fine. And I don't think they care.
It's
because
like,
they do look at us. We are a Petri dish.
Right.
That's all we are.
It's as though they've barged into the tuck shop at Eton, cleared the shelves, filled their pockets, and ran out blaming the person behind the counter.
That's spot on. That is a brilliant analogy.
Wow.
That is an absolutely bang-on analogy.
Well, I better end the show right now then. It's not going to get any better than that. I cannot beat brilliant. Thanks a lot, Ben. Cheer up, mate. It might never Oh, no, that's right. It already has. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Hello. I'm genuinely unclear.
I still believe you. 0345 6060 973. Claire. Jarek emails, what I find really amusing is that you do not need any relevant experience or knowledge of economics to become a chancellor. I came from Poland, and it's a usual practice that the health minister is a doctor, and so on. In the UK, though, you can be a fireplace salesman and then and then become a defence secretary, and if that doesn't work, you can be education secretary. Same with Jeremy Hunt. He saved the NHS and really improved it, so now he will rescue our mortgages and the pound's ratings against the dollar because he is just so good. Yes?
No.
Yeah. Embarrassing. It actually really is embarrassing. This country has become a laughingstock. Other countries look at us and think, just as we used to do with America under the auspices of you-know-who.
I am the most fabulous whiner. And I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
We looked over there and thought, well, thank God for America and Donald Trump. Because otherwise, we would be the laughing stock of the world. Oh, if only I'd found it quick enough. I've got about 50 of his things, and I haven't used them in a good long while because he's not been front and centre of the news, not over here, and I've forgotten where they are. It would have been great if I played this on time.
Don't talk to me that way. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
It's all about timing, baby. Archie texts, I have vegetables that will last longer than Liz Truss. She'll be gone by next Friday. Camden, hello, Claire.
Hi, Nick.
Claire.
I have a demand which has already been raised by people in your show.
Yeah.
I know nothing about nuclear power production.
Would you like to be the Defence Secretary? Can you start first thing Monday? Make it Tuesday. Well, Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, mid-morning. Well, don't worry, because then it's just Friday and nobody comes into work on Friday. So, can you work from home?
I'll try.
Have you got your own phone?
Yeah.
You're hired. Anyway.
And also, this campaign make some noise for small charities.
Make some noise.
Yeah, the global campaign.
Yeah.
Could we found a charity for
ex-chancellors? Yeah. for those who've worked with Liz Truss. Yeah, that's a good idea, Claire.
And also XPMs.
Yeah, XPM. God, there's a lot of them about. Ain't that right, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
He'll do just fine. Don't you worry about him.
Nick, how does it happen that people vote for their representatives?
Yeah.
And after that, the representatives just fight against the people.
That's a good question. Yeah, you're supposed to be working for us, you idiots, not against us. That's an excellent observation there, Claire.
As soon as they are elected, they start a battle against the electorate.
Yeah, the very people that put them in that position in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as though they had actually declared war.
Yeah, and they also hold them in such contempt.
Yeah. Well, so do I, to be fair, but... I don't mean that. I do mean that. But I don't mean that. But I do mean that. I don't. I do.
Well, you answered my question.
Oh, another satisfied customer. Thanks a lot, Claire. 0345 6060 973. Charles tweets, thank goodness for Jeremy Hunt. He was such a huge success as a health minister. I wish he'd chosen somebody else because every time his name comes up, I can see it. I'm going to have to read it in a moment and my brain's going...
Warning, warning.
I don't know what it is. Paul tweets, it looks like curtains for another Elizabeth. Oh, that's not... that's offensive, Paul. Declan says, front page of the Daily Star was on the Austrian news tonight. Students in Graz will experiment if Liz Truss can last longer than a lettuce leaf. The lettuce leaf is 6-1. How's Brexit going? The front page of the Daily Star was on the Austrian news tonight. Students in Graz will experiment. I'm going to have to look up the Daily Star now. Do they even have a website? No, I'm not going to do that. 0345 6060 973. I might do it in a break. Here from beautiful downtown Copenhagen is a person called Suck. Is that your name?
Nick, how are you doing? First time caller.
Good man.
Oh, we're so perfect over here, but it's been very painful watching Liz today, just going on about delivering and her mission. Yeah. And I think, having listened to you for quite a few years now, I think only two people can really help us out. And if they are listening to you now, I urge them to come out of hibernation, if I may.
Yes.
Brian from Stockton-on-Tees. Where are you, Brian?
Oh, he's just where he needs to be. Don't worry about him.
And the second chap, you may recall, he vanished into thin air, and he used to increase his volume after a few minutes. Our dear friend Rajiv from Richmond.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he completely vanished, didn't he?
All of these people like ships in the night. Some of them sank, some still with us.
And Nick, I wanted to get your opinion on an issue. I was talking to your moderator earlier.
What is your issue?
Yeah, the issue today, I'll be very keen for either you or a caller to clarify this, but I was walking down Bishopsgate, downtown London, about 3 or 4 weeks ago when I travelled over back to the UK.
Minding your own affairs.
That's correct. And I came across a officer of the Metropolitan Police, as you would say, and he was riding his horse who had dropped to number 2.
Oh.
And I had actually said, excuse me, would you mind actually clearing that up? Because if I had my dog walking down the streets of London he had dropped one, I would be obliged to do so. And the officer took it
Personally?
upon himself to tell me to move on, or there'd be a breach of the peace.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll say.
why aren't the coppers picking up after their own horses?
You're lucky to be alive. If you were walking a dog and that horse did, leave a product sample, then if your dog had been in the wrong place, it would have been buried. I mean, those horses can produce an enormous amount from what seems like hay. I mean, do they eat anything other than hay? How can they produce that much from so little?
True, Nick. So keep up the great work.
I will not do anything of the sort. But thanks a lot for the suggestion there, Suck, if that is indeed your name. Okay, here's the front page of the Daily Star. Tip of the iceberg. It's a big... It's a picture of a lettuce, and they put two googly eyes on it. And there's a picture of Liz Truss just beneath, in case you were wondering which was which. And the headline is Tip of the iceberg. Get it? How long can wet lettuce Liz romaine? Not remain, romaine. The story. Wet lettuce Liz Truss has axed Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng, but won't admit she's past her sell-by date. Full story, pages 4 to 5. I can't wait not to read it. Bookies lower odds on veg outlasting PM. I mean, it would be amusing, but it's happening to us. These are the people that are running our country. Hard to believe, but it's true. We used to be a country that people used to respect. REPESCT. Get Aretha Franklin on the phone. She'll sing it to us. Adrian emails, what is happening? I just moved around my screen. Where is it? Oh, there it is. What is happening? Have I accidentally eaten a magic mushroom? Groovy. This can't be real, can it? I wonder if Frank Spencer is busy these days. He'd look relatively competent to what we have now as PM. Well, that just seems reasonable. Lorna says, apparently the economy unexpectedly shrunk during the month of August. I wish I had shrunk during the month of August. Indeed, I seem to have unexpectedly expanded. Yeah. You, me, and everyone I know, Lorna. Let's have York. Hello, Jan. I think we've been comfort eating. That's my excuse. Yes, Jan.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
Great, mate.
Good. 5 chancellors in 2 years. No wonder in a mess, eh?
There's a text about that. It says, hang on a minute. Where's the one about the greenies? It's in here somewhere. Yeah, if you don't do it straight away, then it gets buried in a giant list, and you'll never find it. Because at the moment I've got 12 pages to get through, and I'm just not going to be able to do it. And it was some cute thing which said, am I going to find it? No, I've gone all the way to the bottom and it's not there. Oh no, I must have gone past it, Jan.
Oh.
It's a good job this isn't live. Anyway, I'm not going to find it, so never mind. Oh, here we go. The Green Party are annoyed with the Tories for using single-use chancellors. It was worth it, yes?
No.
Very good.
Go ahead.
Very good. It does make you wonder, though, doesn't it?
No.
What qualifications do they need, do you know, to be a chancellor?
You need to have the ability to pucker up and vapour lock onto the bottom of the person above you.
Right.
Like
I was wondering...
Like one of those, like a sucker thing that you know those sucker things you put on the wall and there's a coat hook without having to drill into the wall. Yeah, like that. You need the ability to create suction.
Right. I was wondering maybe they draw straws, and it's the one who gets the short one.
Right. What, they get to be Prime Minister?
Get to be Chancellor. Or Prime Minister,
yeah. Or whatever,
Could be.
Whatever's going, yeah.
Mm.
It doesn't really matter, because they're not going to be there for long.
Well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean,
no.
Doesn't it? Oh, right. And what about Johnson?
Yeah, what about him?
He's still being paid as a...
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yes, he is. Apparently so, yeah. He's doing his duty for the benefit of his constituents. I'm sure he is. Yeah, working day and night, hard at it. And the work too.
Yeah, I mean, why is he over there making all that money on a speech?
Because
it's
he's
not right.
But why is he over there making all that money? Because he's making all that money.
It's not right. It wants stopping, and somebody should stop it.
Well, I spent a good long while in Uxbridge. I went to university in Uxbridge, and I don't know what's happened to the good people of Uxbridge, but they seem to have been turned into numpties. Why would you expect a man like that is going to make great pains to solve your problems? It's Bodger Johnson. He doesn't care about you.
I don't know how they. I don't know why they don't all get together and complain.
Who? The people of Uxbridge?
Yep. Why not?
Well, why indeed? Yes. Maybe they should put in a motion of no confidence.
I know it wouldn't do any good, but...
no, it wouldn't, no.
You know. But
maybe we could give him a season ticket to his favourite place.
Peppa Pig World. Peppa Pig World it has Peppa Pig.
It's the right answer, Bodger. Getting very excited just at the very idea.
And then I think he was on holiday as well, wasn't he?
He's always on blooming holiday.
I know.
His entire life is a holiday.
How many has he had this year? About 5?
He takes holidays and then comes back to hear a round of applause in his honour and then goes away on another blooming holiday.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
He's a ridiculous man. And just when you thought it couldn't possibly get any worse after him, it did.
It did.
They found a way.
Oh, God.
Jan, I know, it's painful, eh? But that's life. We're stuck with it, I suppose. Thanks, Jan. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Hot H-O-T-A-I-R.
Tom tweets, Matthew Paris put it best. Liz Truss is a planet-sized mass of overconfidence and ambition, teetering upon a pinhead of a political brain. Well, that's just rude, but true. And Katie says the Daily Mail has turned on her. That's it. She's done for. Well, that may be so, but wouldn't it be nice if this wasn't a country that seemed to be run by foreign resident, offshore, non-domiciled, tax-averse billionaires? Can we try not being one of those countries for a while, see how it goes? Here's a call in Hampton. Matthew.
Oh, good evening, Nick, and also to your amazing production guy.
Esteemed colleague, yes, my glamorous assistant.
He's very good.
Is he?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Oh, very professional.
Oh, I see. What does that mean?
Well, it just means he's articulate and good at his job.
Can you rate him out of 10? 1 being very unsatisfied and 10 being very satisfied.
I'll give him a 10, actually.
Cannot be improved. Wow.
No. But anyway, moving on, Nick. 3 points, if you don't mind.
Couple of 3 points.
Right, I feel a little bit sorry for Torres. Unfortunately, whoever takes charge will always be criticised.
Did you say Torres?
Yeah, what's her name? Liz...
Yeah, you feel sorry for what's her name? Yeah, don't bother to learn her name because she's not going to be around that long. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. But I mean...
It's like I said at the beginning of the programme, I'm upset that I spent 10 minutes trying to learn how Crazy Kwarteng's name was spelt. There's 10 minutes I won't get back.
Well, no, absolutely.
What was the point of that?
Give her a chance. See how it goes.
Give her a chance. I think she's had a chance and it's not going very well. Badly, in fact.
But what they should have done, I'll be honest with you, Nick, is they should have employed
an expert.
Richie...
Fishy Sunak.
Sunak,
What's his name? Yeah. Not what's her name, what's his name. What's her name? Dreadful. What's his name? He would have been excellent.
No, I think really he should have been given a chance.
Right.
because I think he's come across very, hate to repeat the word again, but very professional.
Professional, yes. He's like a professional cashmere hoodie model.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing wrong with looking good. And the second point I was going to make was Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
He was on about Rwanda, yeah?
Heaven on earth.
So, first
Apparently.
thing in the morning...
According to the government video that I just saw, yeah. First thing in the morning.
Yeah, first thing in the morning, I'm going to look up on the internet and book a couple of flights.
Couple of flights. I'll see you at the check-in desk, Matthew. Don't forget your toothbrush.
Oh, why not? So I'm going to book a couple of flights.
Right.
Well, take the,
as long as we're not sitting side by side, I don't mind where on the plane we are.
Well, I'll have the missus with me anyway, so...
Okay.
But no, I quite fancy the idea, because you've talked it up.
Yeah, well, that's great.
And it sounds like a nice trip.
Well, as long as you realise it's a one-way trip, Matthew, then that's fine. I just don't want you to be disappointed. I want you to go into it with your eyes open.
Well, I don't know.
And because we're rapidly running out of time, what's your third thing?
Third thing I've already forgotten.
Okay, that's excellent news. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. His third thing was my favourite. I mean, if I had to choose my favourite between things 1, 2 and 3, 3 was definitely my favourite. How about you, Zaphod?
And 1, 2,
3.
6 million.
Well, close. Hamish says the Daily Star website has a live feed video of the lettuce and truss. Really? Excellent work there, the Daily Star. Rohit texts, the current debacle can all be traced back to Labour. They picked the wrong Miliband. Idiots. It wouldn't have made no difference one way or the other which Miliband they chose. It would have been 1,000% better than this catastrophic clown show that we got going on here. And Steve texts, don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Okay, I won't bother singing any more of it, but I should have just sung it. Be confident in yourself. Open your mouth and just let it out. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Blame it on the quasi. That doesn't really fit. More work needed there, Steve. Maidstone. Hello, Joan.
Hello there, Nick.
Hello there, Joan.
They are playing the most outrageous con trick on the public, particularly the golden oldies. They're talking about these warm banks.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine? Some people good folk actually setting them up already. It's all going to be done by charity. Can you imagine on a cold, freezing day, crawling through the snow and the rain, like Captain Oates, going to one of these wretched warm banks, having a cup of tea, then having to leave again and come back home? There'll be dead bodies in the snow. People will freeze to death. Can you imagine?
Well, at least they'll be sort of refrigerated and they won't go off. So there's that benefit.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have 4 big flasks, one full of tea, another coffee, soup, so forth and so on.
Soups, yeah. What's in the fourth one?
Booze.
I see.
And snuggle down, in bed. I'm going to have my telly there. I'm going to have my telephone there. Toddle off now and again if I have to go to the kitchen or the bathroom or something. Look out to the window and see those poor, poor souls. Struggling. I mean,
well, is there not room under that duvet for another couple of souls?
Well, it depends who they are.
I suppose so. Yeah.
But quite seriously though, people have actually been conned. They're actually setting them up. They're not giving them any money from the government. Charity. They've got to pay for their electricity, the cups of cocoa they drink. Yeah, that was for the other flask. But can you imagine?
It should not be by dint of charity that you survived the winter, for crying out loud. This is one of the richest countries that is in existence or has ever existed.
Yeah, but I won't cost them anything because I'll be snug as a bug under my duvet.
Snug as a bug and drunk.
Yeah, that's my fifth fast.
There you go. All right, thanks a lot, Joan. Cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Hello, boys.
0345 6060 973. Paul says, discuss. Worst ever PM's candidate list. Cameron, Brexit referendum and mistaken austerity policy. Or Theresa May, lost the election from a 22-point lead. Or Bojo the Clown, the lies in the parties. And now Truss, the omnishambles budget. Well, I think you put them all together. And what do you got? A catastrophic clown show. James says the Lizbot might sound like a Dalek, but she is the spitting image of Doctor Who's aquatic foes, the Sea Devils. And I had no idea who the Sea Devils were, so I had to look it up in a break. And, oh my God, that's exactly what she looks like. That's frightening. The Sea Devils out of Doctor Who. Look it up on the World Wide Web. It's the same cold, staring eyes. It's the same hair. Or whatever that is. Alarming. I know I'm frightened. 0345 6060 973. Chelmsford. Hello, Robbie.
Blaming on the Lizzie. I just can't control those guilt. I just wanted to finish your refrain, Nick, from the previous...
Thanks, Robbie. I appreciate it.
The previous
Yeah.
lovely tonal...
Yeah.
Singing. I'm a bit embarrassed. I voted Conservative in the last two elections. Oh,
how's that working out for you?
Well, yeah, just brilliant. I'm embarrassed in one sense, but having spoken to some of your colleagues, I'm less embarrassed for some of those who also did the same way.
Well, let me ask you this, Robbie. How old are you?
I'm 35.
35 years old. Well, then it's good that you actually could be bothered to go out and vote at all. You are to be congratulated for that.
I'm one of these weird people. I am a strange one. I won't dig any more into that. But I'm one of these people who reads all the manifestos and votes each time based on what they read. I voted Lib Dem, I voted Conservative. I've never voted Labour before, but now I'm probably going to vote, well, whatever can get my local Tory out, frankly, based on what's gone on. I will say that I'm just so disturbed by what has gone on, the influences that have come into the Conservative Party.
It's weird.
The way that they've governed. It's nothing that I voted for.
It's exactly like the Donald Trump and the people behind Donald Trump taking over the Republican Party. Bing bong! Those dinglings took over the world's most successful and richest political party, and it took him about 10 seconds.
I'm president. Can you believe it?
And we got the same people who put him in power, who are seem to be working Liz Truss like a puppet on a string.
A little bit, yeah, yeah. But actually, not a little bit. A lot of it.
A lot of it. Yeah.
It is a disgrace. I'm not going to even try and pretend to cosplay Thatcher or Truss or whatever it is.
Disgrace.
Yes. I love the Dalek voice. It is a disgrace. It's absolutely a disgrace. I was, to full disclosure, I was well changed in terms of my politics during the Boris Partygate era in terms of what we can trust and not.
Well, what was it? What was it that first attracted you to Boris Johnson's policies? Why did you vote for them in the first place?
I'll be honest. I used to be a much more selfish person. I used to think that actually the things that I vote... I'll be honest, Nick. I'm sorry. I know I love your show, by the way. It's very funny. But jokes aside,
jokes aside,
it was all about for me voting for things that affected me and my immediate family.
That's you and me and everybody else I know. We're all trying to do best for ourselves first, and then we can think about other people afterwards.
But Nick, now
it's like when you're on a plane and the oxygen mask falls from above. Put your own on first before putting on your baby's.
But I have to say, Nick, and I'd like to just say, I've gone from being somebody who was a Tory voting Brexiteer 5-6 years ago to somebody who is now
an enemy of the people.
Well, I'm in the anti-growth coalition, that's for sure. I'm trying to find a T-shirt that can fit. But, oh my goodness. But I am actually fully on board with the socialist redistribution, angle, and I will do anything to help wider society now. I think, frankly, maybe I'm behind the curve, but I have grown up.
He's become a hippie.
Groovy.